All right. What's going on? What's going on? What's going down? It's your man Jay Rich Movement, and yes, we are at it again. It's another standard Tuesday and Thursday night Novae Money Training call, Novae Money Training webinar. I'm your host, Jamal Flono. I'm also co-hosted by Miss Sophia, the Lioness Lightborn, with a few of the top producers and top leaders in Novae Money. We're here to give you skill set and mindset to help you take your business to the next level. Right now, I want to bring to the line. Actually, I'm not gonna bring her to the line right now because she's doing a three-way call. This is the time I would have brought her to the line. I wanted to edify her, but since she's in the middle of a call, I guess I go ahead and start first. I go ahead and go first tonight. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm going to preach tonight. I'm not even gonna play game. I'm gonna all the way preach tonight, and I'm gonna give you Bible verses. I'm not even joking. This is for real, for real. So if you're ready to take notes, make sure you're ready to take these notes. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of things that I think is gonna be really effective, and basically, I heard the word this weekend on Sunday, and I think it really fits exactly what we're doing here with Novae. Okay, so tonight, I'm gonna give you the inescapable law of sowing and reaping. The inescapable law of sowing and reaping. Tonight, I'm giving you the inescapable law of sowing and reaping. How many people have heard about you reap what you sow? All right, how many people heard that they'll say you reap what you sow? All right, so that's actually a universal law, and I want everybody to understand that it's a universal law, so it has to pass. It's one of the few laws in nature that we actually have that can't be changed, right? It's universal, and it's also written in the word as well. So I'm going to give y'all 3 Bible verses real quick. I want y'all to jot down, and I'm going to go over what those verses actually mean. So, if you're not Christian, don't worry about it. It's still gonna resonate with you. Trust me. So if you're ready for number 1, let me get number 1 in the comment section. Number 1 on the screen. Number 1 in the comment section, or number 1 on the screen. Thank you, Jonathan Jones. Thank you, Crispy Andrews. Let me get some ones. I need some engagement. Let me get some ones. Shandy P, thank you. Royale, thank you. Lady, Earl the Pearl, Simone. Okay, thank y'all for the ones. The first Bible verse is going to be Genesis 8:22. It's Genesis 8:22. I'm gonna preach a little bit. I ain't gonna go too deep, but that's the first verse, right? And this is what it says. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest time, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease. It's written in the word. I'm going to say it again. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest time, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall never cease. That means it's always going to happen. That's one of those inescapable laws, guys. So what they're saying is if you put the work in, and eventually you will see a result. If you put the work in, eventually you will see a result. So you got to make sure that you're always sowing. When people don't understand what sowing is not just planting the seed, right? Sowing is tilling the land. Sowing is watering it. Sowing is fertilizer. That means you're always putting in work. So you want to make sure that you're always sowing. If you're always sowing, you will always reap. I'm going to give us a verse that's going to be directed directly at Novae. And I felt this so much, I was actually crying, y'all. I felt so much I actually cried when I heard this verse. Because it fit, because I've been endured so much for so long. So that's the first verse. Who's ready for the second verse? We get number 2 in the comment section, number 2 on the screen. We get number 2 in the comment section, number 2 on the screen. Thank you, DeAndre. Thank you, Missy. Thank you, Royale. Jonathan Jones, Rasan. Mark, okay, thank y'all. I'm ready for number 2. Number 2 is Galatians 6, verse 7. Galatians 6, verse 7. I just want to get y'all a foundation in the word. That's all. Because I'm definitely a Christian, and I understand that, the Bible, like a lot of people take the Bible very literally. Sometimes you're supposed to learn from the stories, right? You learn from stories anyway. I've heard a couple of these verses and it really resonated with me. So I hope you feel the same way about y'all. All right. So Galatians 6 and 7 says, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Right? Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. It's one of the other verses that go ahead and give confirmation that if you put the work in, you will definitely see the results, right? You put the work in, you'll definitely see the results. So I'm going to give us an affirmation just a minute as well, guys, because I want to make sure that everybody understands, man. I'm gonna give y'all one more verse, and I'm gonna give y'all a couple more key points. I'm gonna get up out of here. All right. Who's ready for number 3? Right? Who's ready for number 3? Number 3 in the comment section. Number 3 on the screen. It's the third verse. This is the verse y'all can use to help, you know what I'm saying, build up your belief. Don't think you're doing this for no reason. Like, people aren't gonna see what you see, right? People ain't gonna see what you see until see after you're done, right? You're gonna see it before they see it. Hey, TJ, I appreciate that, but this is my trainer, brother. I got you. Don't trip. All right. Third verse. Here we go. Third verse right here. Genesis 26 and 12. Write this down. Genesis 26 and 12. Right? Genesis 26 and 12. This is one of the ones that me and Shalonda do every single day. And I'm gonna give you a chance to put yourself into this verse, okay? So Genesis 26 and 12 says, "Now Isaac sowed seed into the land, and in that very year he reaped 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him." I'm gonna say it again. Now Isaac sowed seed into that land, and in that very year he reaped 100-fold, and the Lord blessed him. So let's make that a little more personal, right? I'm gonna type it in real quick, right? I'll make this a little more personal. I want you to add your name to it, okay? I want you to add your name, right? So now, Jamal sowed seed into that land. And that very year, he reaped 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. Like, I want you to add on the and. The and too is powerful too. And why is that in the same verse? And the Lord blessed him. Woo, that's powerful, all right? Let's go there one more time. And we're gonna make it, because a lot of people don't know what 100-fold is, right? That means it's 100 times, right? 100 times. So let's say it again. I want you to add your name to it. Now, say your name. Sow seed into that land. And that very year, you reaped 100 times. And the Lord blessed. Right? 100 times more. So now it's like, okay, so now we're talking about reaping this year. Right? It's crazy. I've been doing this business for so long, y'all. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. And I want you to understand. This is the first time I've seen this verse, and I studied the word. It's the first time my pastor brought this verse up, and I studied the word. Like, what he said to me is, you know what I'm saying, you have an increase in income, right? And you probably think it's a fluke. No, it's about to go down, y'all. It's about to get crazy. Like, I watched my income this month triple from what it had been for the last few months. It comes from me being obedient and always sowing. Like, I would sow. Like, I would till the land. I would fertilize the land. I would water the land every single day. Even though I wasn't seeing no results, I would just do it. Now it's gonna the point where we gotta understand that we gotta keep doing this, y'all. So the first thing I want you to realize is, 1, you have to be willing to sow. That's the first thing. You have to be willing to sow. That means you gotta be willing to put the work in. Thank you, babe. You gotta be willing to put the work in. You have to be willing to sow. Nothing happens until you sow. Like, people say, you know what I'm saying? Like, people always hear you reap what you sow. But if you don't sow, then you don't reap. Number two, second thing y'all realize is the best time to sow is when the conditions seem unfavorable. The best time to sow is when it seems like the conditions are unfavorable, right? A lot of our best produce, a lot of our best blessings happens when it's rough. And you know what I'm saying, when the soil is the most dry and the soil is the most hard. Like in this whole passion when Isaac was sowing, right? With Isaac, you know what I'm saying, plant, you know what I'm saying, it was during the famine time, right? And we planted his seed and he harvested that year. First of all, he planted in the wrong season. That's the first thing. You know, it's season to this thing, right? He planted in the wrong season and he still harvested that year. He still reaped that year. Like, so looking at your life, think about your life right now. You might be in the wrong season right now. You might be, your phone might be out right now. You might, you know what I'm saying, be living paycheck to paycheck right now. Your credit score might be 400 right now. This is the time you want to put the work in. Because he said it's going to happen this year. And I truly believe that. I've been doing this so long. I done seen ups and downs. I've seen people come here and leave. I don't have friends coming to this business and stab you in your back. Because I've been here long enough to do that. Just because I know that I want people that have built the foundation of this company. And number three, you have to make sure that you know this is the season to be productive. This is the season to be productive. You got to make sure that you're being productive during this time. Because if you're not being productive during this time, guess what? It won't be your harvest season. Like, there's no doubt in my mind right now. And this is the year that changes for me. It changes my whole family tree. This year. So I'm gonna work hard. I'm gonna work hard so I can make sure it happens for me and my family. And I'm gonna work hard regardless if anybody else on this line works hard. Because I know for a fact that I've been putting for a reason. It's like how Zeke Ali just said on that call a couple minutes ago. He said, the reason I'm still here is because I can't be bought off. This is a legacy company. It's going to change so many lives in our community. And you have to make sure that you put the work in during the unfavorable time. You want to get results. Number 4, I want you to understand that when you sow, you always reap way more than you sow. When you sow, when you start putting work in, you always reap way more on the back end. So you're going to ask yourself, if you know for a fact that you're going to reap way more on the back end, then what kind of work are you going to put in on the front end? Like, do you want a little harvest or you want a big harvest? Do you want something that you can carry by yourself, or you want something that you got to call your friends to help you carry? Do you want a couple extra $100 a month to make sure your phone bill's paid, or make sure your car notes paid, or you want enough money to buy acres and acres of land, to buy live in the house that you want to live, or drive the car that you want to drive, or travel when you want to travel, with who you want to travel, when you want to travel, and stay for as long as you want to? You have to really buy into that and start putting work in tonight, not tomorrow, tonight. Like, if you don't put the work in tonight, you won't harvest. So with that being said, I'm gonna slide out the way. Hope that was valuable for y'all. That's what I got from this week at church, and my pastor spoke to me this week, and I was in tears, y'all, because you don't understand. I just had a conversation with my pops, and you know, he don't necessarily see the vision. He sees the vision a little bit for me, a little bit, but not really. And he's not supposed to. And when pastor spoke to me, it was crazy because he said everything my dad said. He said Nah, you coming out of there right now. All the naysayers are gonna look at you and be like, "Oh, I guess he was right." I know Sophie knows how it feels, right? Because she has. I know Sophie got peers that's went on to other companies and had some success, and some went to other companies, had some success, and the company went under, and now they're another company having a little bit of success, and then it's folding, and now she's still here, and they probably like, "Man, how's she still doing it?" It's because she's willing to put the work in, and she knows it's time for all harvest. One break to the line. I know somebody's gonna write this call. Shows give such valuable information. I love scrolling on my timeline and randomly seeing a Facebook Live pop up from this woman because she's gonna give a whole bunch of value. Because what she does is she just studies and studies and implements and studies and studies and implements. And she has mentors that she listens to. And even when it don't feel right to her, right? Even when it feels like, hey, this might not work for me, she still implements it. And I'm pretty sure she's seen a lot of success just from using that method. With that being said, I want to bring to the line our next coach, Miss Sophia, the Lioness Lightborn.
Hey, Coach Flono, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please take it away.
Thank you so much, man. I got to give it back up to Coach Flono, guys. He just came from left field tonight, but it's so funny that, it kind of aligns with what I wanted to train on tonight too, right? We always say like we don't prepare really like together for these calls. But for some reason, we almost always know what y'all need, right? And it aligns, right? It's all about alignment and timing. And it seems like our energies always connect, Coach Flono, man. So I got to give it back up to you for that value. And like you say, you shared information tonight that starts from the beginning, right? Which is the Bible, right? Like Mr. McDaniel says all the time, if you never pick that book up, maybe you should try it sometime. And I'll be transparent with you guys. Y'all know I'm an island girl, right? And on the islands, we super religious, right? Churches are on the corner store, on every single corner, just like in America, the corner stores are, right? So I grew up in church my entire life. I left home kind of early. I went to boarding school. A lot of people don't even know that, right? I went to boarding school. So I left home when I was 15. So from I was 15 till I was like a grown adult, right? I was on my own, just kind of deciphering life for itself. And one of the things that even though I was brought up in church, I kind of lost that spirituality, right? Like I'm gonna be real, I lost that aspect because y'all know when you were a teenager, when you were a kid, your mom waking you up to go to church on Sunday, right? If she ain't in the room, like get up, you ain't going, right? So I wasn't forced to go, and I kind of missed a whole lot. And now in my journey, when I'm getting to this point now, one of the goals I set for myself at the beginning of this year was I want to strengthen a spiritual relationship, because I realized that was the area that was lacking most for me, right? I've got the mindset and belief on point. I'm learning the skill set, but you always got to have something, greater than you, right? This thing is bigger than us. And it's funny that Coach Flono started, with those scriptures tonight. And something I was really reading and studying this week was one of my favorite topics, and is belief. But I'm going to bring it to y'all from a little different aspect tonight, a way that I've never heard it explained before. Guys, let's define this. If you got a pen, write this down, okay? If you listen to something, you retain 28%. If you write notes while you listen, you retain 78%. If you listen to something 7 times, you retain 98%. So that's why we got these recordings, guys, all right? So make sure y'all checking out Coach Flono's YouTube and re-watching these trainings. But tonight, I want to talk about the most powerful force that humans possess, okay? The most powerful force that humans possess is the power of belief. The power of belief, right? I was watching a religious sermon yesterday, and he said, the person who was sharing this message, I always refer to him. His name is Dr. Miles Monroe. Go YouTube him, Google him. He's powerful, okay? He said, listen, I thought the most powerful force was the power of God, right? He said, but it's the power of belief. Here's why. Because belief, y'all, and unbelief are the same thing, and they're equally as important. We always focus on the belief, what you believe in. But guess what? What you don't believe is equally as powerful. So if you're on these affirmation calls every morning, affirming what you want in your life and trying to raise your belief level, but in the back of your mind, you got doubt, you've got fear, you've got unbelief, you just cancel it all out, because both of them hold the same amount of power. So tonight, we always talk about belief. I want to talk a little bit about unbelief. All right? I need you to get honest with yourself, because this is some soul seeking I've been doing the past 2 days, right? Get honest with yourself. Yes, when you're on these trainings, when you're on the affirmation calls, it sounds good to believe bigger, right? And say you have all these big hopes and big dreams. But when you're in your room by yourself, when it's dark, and maybe, your bank account ain't looking how you need it to look, maybe a bill is due and you ain't got it, and you start to feel unbelief. You start to feel like, I wonder if this is really going to work. Man, can I really do this? Man, I don't know if this Novae thing really gonna make it. I don't know if we could get 100 millionaires, man. I don't know if we could get 1,000 people with 800 credit scores. That's called unbelief, guys. And if you don't believe, the same way we say what you think expands and what you focus on, you attract into your life. If you're focused on unbelieving certain things, you're canceling out everything that you're affirming into your life. I want you to think about that, y'all. Okay, unbelief is just as powerful as belief. So that means you got to make a decision to eliminate all doubt. You got to stop doubting yourself. You got to stop doubting the process. You got to stop doubting these trainings and doubting the fact that you need to get to the events, or doubting why you need to get on the conference calls. You got to start believing a lot bigger, a whole lot faster. Okay? Here's what I want you to write down. What is belief? Okay, this is a definition of belief. This is the simplest, most clear definition I've ever heard. Belief is a deep conviction. It's a perception of reality. Okay? Belief is that which holds true. That which one holds to be true. That's what a belief is. Belief is trust. It's hope. It's mindset. Your belief is your way of thinking, your persuasion, your convictions. Guys, that's what belief is. All right? Here's the next thing you got to remember. Tonight we're talking a little mindset. We're going a little deep tonight, okay? I promise it's going to be short, but it's going to be powerful. The most powerful organ in the human body is what? Someone drop it in the chat. A lot of people say, get this wrong. See, the first one, it's the heart. That's not right. That's the first one we always say. It ain't the heart that's pumping. It ain't the lungs. The most powerful organ in the human body is the brain. Okay? The brain. But guess what's even more powerful than the brain, y'all? The mind. The mind. Write that down. That's powerful. The most powerful organ in your body is your brain. But your mind is even more powerful. What's the mind? Write this down. Your mind is the faculty of thought and thinking. Your mind controls your thinking and your thoughts. It's the most powerful thing in your entire being, is your thinking. Guys, that's powerful. Now, your mind is split into two. Okay, write these down, guys. Your mind is split into 2 dimensions. The first one, we call it the heart. Okay, it's not the heart that's in your chest. This is the part of your mind that we call your heart. The second thing is actually your mind. Okay, so I know that sounds confusing, but I'm gonna make this super clear right now. The first part of your mind is your heart. Not this heart in your chest, but your heart, your subconscious. Okay, we're gonna call that your subconscious mind. And the second part of your mind is your actual mind. Now, let's talk about the mind really quickly, guys. The mind is your faculty of consciousness. Write that down. This is your conscious mind. When you're conscious, you're aware, right? So think about that. Your mind deals with your reflexes. Reflexes. I'll type that in the chat real quick. Your reflexes, okay? It helps you to make decisions. It helps you to evaluate. It helps you to make responses. It deals with the things that's happening right now, okay? your mind is always active. You're always thinking, right? That's the first dimension. It's dealing with the now. It's reflexive. The second thing is your heart, your subconscious mind, okay? It's the faculty of your subconscious. Here's what the subconscious mind does. It stores your experiences. It stores memories. It stores your secret desires and your hopes, right? This is where your belief is stored. Guys, your heart is reflective, okay? So think about that. If you get nothing else from this, I want you to just remember this. Everything starts in the mind, your faculty of thinking. And there's two things that your mind consists of. Your actual mind, which deals with your reflexes, and your subconscious mind that deals with, your desires and your beliefs. All right? But here's where we fall short, guys. Our heart and our mind, they contradict. They're at battle all the time, right? Your belief says you want to be a millionaire and you are a millionaire. But your mind right now says, but I can't pay my light bill. That's a battle that we all go through nonstop. But what you've got to do is you got to start to protect your mind. And here's 2 ways for you to protect your mind. And I'm out of here. 2 ways. You got to watch what you feed your mind. That means watch what you read, watch what you're watching, watch what you're listening to. Because everything that we hear repeated over and over again, it goes into your subconscious mind, which triggers your beliefs. So if we're listening to this crazy music, or we're watching these images and the media that's pouring propaganda into our minds, it's going into our subconscious and it becomes your belief system. You start to believe what you hear over and over again. So you got to start to protect what you're putting into your mind. That's why you got to make sure you're on these trainings. You got to make sure you're at the blueprint. You got to make sure you're on the affirmation calls. So you can start to feed your mind things that's going to help you to progress and not digress. Okay? That's the first thing you want to do. Protect your mind. And the second thing you want to do is you've also got to realize that your mind determines what your body does. Your mind determines what your body does. That sounds like a simple concept, right? But think about it. If in your mind, I'm going to use something basic, you feel like, you're depressed, you're under the weather, all of a sudden your body starts to do what? Curl up. You want to lay down. Your energy is low. Next thing you know, you're in bed doing nothing. Your mind determines everything you do, your behaviors, your actions, and ultimately your actions determines your results. So I say all of that to say this. It starts in your head. It starts with your thinking. It starts in your brain. What you think, you start to feel. If something goes into your subconscious mind and it's your belief, you start to feel it like it's true. So what you think affects how you feel. How you feel affects what you do. And what you do manifests your results. But y'all see that the whole thing starts with your thinking. I want y'all to start believing a little bit bigger. I want you to start eliminating doubt. I need you to start to become more aware of what you're unbelieving. Because if you're unbelieving things in private, that means that you're canceling out all the work that you're doing. Because faith and fear, faith and doubt, they can't coexist. You got to choose one or the other. And I want you to choose winning. I want you to choose your goals and your dreams. I want you to raise your level of belief. Because why? Your success level will never be greater than your belief level. So let's raise those levels of belief. Let's go ahead and build this thing. Let's go ahead and change lives, because that's what we're here for. All right. I hope this was valuable, guys. I hope you got some takeaways from it. But I'm going to step out of the way. I don't know if we have Coach Bowens on, but we down to 5 minutes, Coach Flono. I'm just going to step out of the way and pass it back on to you, sir. I don't know. Coach Flono, you there?
Trying to unmute. I was trying to unmute. I got you. No, that was it, man. I thought that was super powerful. We got 5 minutes left, and I just been informed. And make sure I'm right before I say this. Okay, I just been informed that we got an extra special guest tonight. if you were just on the Tuesday night conference call, you understand that we're in a unique position right now. One of the guys who I want to ask to give us everything he can in a short amount of time. This guy actually helped me change my whole entire life, and I'm constantly growing because I'm in this man's network. So I'm gonna bring to the line, Coach Mr. Haziq Ali. Are you on the line, sir? I know you ain't had nothing prepared.
Yeah.
You got about 4 minutes. 4 minutes, big dog. I don't know if you want to give you know what I'm saying, give the team anything. Just let me know.
Oh man, listen, what I heard, that was phenomenal, and real proud of everybody. Glad to see that everybody's on the same page at the time is now. I just want to remind everybody, man, that like Frederick Douglass and Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Martin, they was all like this same age, yo. Like, we really ain't doing as much as we could be doing. But now it's okay, though, because we done woke up now. Now we starting to get it. And so all I know is that we're at the beginning of something that's going to be historic, y'all. This is about to change everything for everybody, especially those of us that are coming from nothing and looking at the world like, damn, what is going on? How is the middle class disappearing? How is the world going to handle it now that automation is coming and all these jobs are disappearing, even though the population is exploding? I mean, it's all happening at once. It's like a perfect storm of events that is perfect for me and you to get out here and really serve, really like begin to expand our own potential by meeting the crisis head on. This is what you see in all the history books, man. You put some of these same people in other times and they'd have just been a regular person because there wasn't nothing for all hell to break loose, to call all the greatness out of them. Man, you are blessed with a time where all hell is breaking loose, y'all. And I got to tell you, man, it's built for you. It's built for us. These times were designed for us right here. So, get excited. We about to change the world, y'all. I can see it clear as day. We the ones we waiting for. Ain't nobody else out here teaching financial literacy and giving them entrepreneurship. And it's only $50 a month for them to get all these tax deductions, get a comp plan that can literally let them retire in a year. They can literally retire in a year that is feasible in this comp plan. And you tell me that on top of all of that entrepreneur literacy, like we're teaching everything from public speaking to communication to leadership. This is the future, y'all. So let's get it.
That's powerful, Ms. Ali. I appreciate your time. I didn't know you're going to stick your head in. I know you just got off a conference call. You gave all that value. It took me. I was like, I didn't know that direction. I was like, man, I ain't have my pen together. You heard me get a pen. Man,
we just getting started, bro. I see it now. Marcus Garvey would have 6,000 people in his weekly meetings, bro. 6,000. Think about that. 6,000. He had 6 million people in 10 years. 6 million paying their dues. That was the first network marketing company. And it was all about improving each other. Not trying to advance in their system, but improving ourselves so that everybody wants us. We are the most valuable resource on the planet. And it's time for us to step into our greatness. These times are going to call it out, so that's the beautiful thing. God done made it so. Don't forget, there wouldn't have been a civil rights movement if they wouldn't have bombed that church in Birmingham. You know what I mean? If you ain't got no war, then you never had peace. So let's get it, y'all.
All right, that's it. We only got a couple more seconds left. Make sure y'all click off and click back on. Click off and click back on. Get the queue, your questions answered. And look, make sure you do something today that your future you will be proud of. And that's a rich moving message.